Was it choir practice?
Actually, they were singing the Star Spangled Banner, something
sure.
you'll
They were
never
also
hear at a
chanting,
Democrat
"Hang
event.
Mike Pence." When Donald Trump said Mike Pence needs to do the right thing, what was he talking about there? What did you want Pence to do?
So in the history of the United States, there have been multiple times where a party rejects the results of an election, and all 3 times prior to 2020, it was the Democrat Party.
Really? You want to walk? Let's walk through those. Let's walk through those.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Destiny versus Owen Shroyer. This debate in person is going insane. He is completely dog walking Owen Shroyer in this debate. Owen Shroyer is sort of brainwashed along the lines of what an insurrection is. Destiny is literally trying his hardest to spell it out. And yeah, let's just get into it.
Every single person before the election said there was an unprecedented amount of mail-in voting.
And they were all for Biden.
A lot of them were. Did you not listen?
Yeah, of course they were.
Of course they were.
And they all came right at 3:30 in the morning.
Because Donald Trump spent a year in the lead-up telling his people, don't vote via mail-in ballot.
You are so
Do you remember
gullible,
that
man.
happening? Did you watch Donald Trump for a year say,
so
we don't
gullible.
vote via mail-in ballot, we go to the polls and vote? And you know why he did that? We know why he did that. Because Roger Stone and Manafort, 2 corrupt lunatics that Donald Trump has both given full pardons to, by the way, are on recorded audio saying Donald Trump is just going to declare himself the victor on the night of the election because he knows he's going to get destroyed when the mail-in ballots start coming.
And did Donald Trump declare himself the victor, or did he leave the White House?
Do what?
Did Donald Trump leave the White House?
After a failed insurrection, yes.
A failed insurrection. Who ran the insurrection?
Donald Trump and the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and everybody that broke into the Capitol and delayed the certification of the vote.
Do you really believe that?
Was the vote...
See, it's just a lot of people. That's the biggest problem that you have with a lot of right-wing spokespersons is that they will believe the idea that what's something crazy. They will unfold the paper dollar bill in front of you, and they'll start to show you the the little pyramids on it, and they'll believe that there's something special about this pyramid, that if you fold it up a certain way, it'll have the Twin Towers, and they have to show you exactly what happens. And right here, he's just going into this whole thing. I mean, you can hear Owen Shroyer completely discount everything that Destiny says, even though it's sort of just Destiny's breaking it down on the most basic of levels. Let's keep on going.
Was the vote certification delayed?
What is an insurrection?
Wait. Was the vote?
Was the
vote certification delayed on January 6th?
No, it went through. They certified. Did Trump?
Hold on. I'm so sorry. I don't know who you're answering right now. Was the vote certification delayed? Was Congress called out of session on January 6th?
Yes, I think for a couple hours.
For several hours.
So by the end of the day,
why were they called out of session?
So by the end of the day,
you see how we can't live in reality? You see how this doesn't work? The country doesn't function when you have people
if you want
that
to go
refuse
back and
to
call
accept.
this an insurrection,
The craziest thing is it's all on video. We've seen all of this.
So
None of this is a mystery.
Tell me what an insurrection is. Just define it for me.
I don't have to define it for you. I'm just asking simple questions. On January 6th, there was a certification of the vote. That vote was disrupted by violence. If you want to get into what an insurrection is, you could say that it was a crowd of people that had gathered with a common purpose to use the means of violence or intimidation to disrupt an official federal proceeding, such as the certification of the 2020 vote, the outcome of that election, which is why it would probably qualify as an insurrection.
Okay. How many guns were at this insurrection?
You don't need a gun for an insurrection.
Zero.
Wait, the cops didn't have any guns?
Oh, the cops had a gun. That's right. They killed an innocent person.
So what you just said was just wrong.
That's right. They killed an innocent person.
With a slingshot? What do you mean there were 0 guns at the insurrection?
So, okay.
Owen Shroyer looks like the type of guy to really believe in all these different things. He looks like he exposes his raw milk to red UV light rays. It looks like that he also, follows religiously any of these Andrew Huberman. He's just a classic Huberman fan. Like, if you look at this guy, no offense to Huberman, dude, but what I'm saying is that he believes a lot of stuff and then decides to want to make you feel bad about it. He wants to say, oh, you're the gullible one. Like, they didn't have literally so many people in the White House thing. Where did they bring those people in by the truckloads? Did they bring those people in by the truckloads, Owen? Destiny, I feel bad for him talking to, seems like a maniac, but let's keep on going.
So the government had the guns, so that's good. So that's what happens when only the government has the guns.
Just to be clear here, none of the people on the grounds of the Capitol had any firearms on them? Not a
single one.
Really? Not even though the Secret Service said 80% of the people that were at the Ellipse just an hour earlier listening to Trump's speech didn't go through the magnometers because they saw people in the crowd that had firearms they didn't want to go through that all marched to the Capitol building. What, did they drop their gun off at a hotel? Did they give it to a friendly police officer? Did they find a fellow DC BLM guy to hold onto their rifles?
Not a single gun was ever recovered or on record at the January 6th insurrection.
Oh, recovered.
And
well,
what type of an insurrection?
How many pipe bombs were found
what type
at
That's
the
a
January
great
6th
question,
event?
actually. Who laid those pipe bombs?
We don't know. We never found out.
We don't know. How convenient. The government can recognize somebody's earlobe in a video and track them down and go arrest them in the middle of a hurricane, by the way. The FBI went into North Carolina in the middle of a hurricane and arrested somebody, but they can't find who laid the pipe bombs. They have no idea. And Kamala Harris doesn't remember where she was.
They're taking pictures of our earlobes, god dang it. They need to stop identifying us by our earlobes. That's what they need to stop doing right now. You know what, Owen Shroyer, you might have made a great I'm just messing with you. This is getting really this is really starting to become brain rot watching Owen Shroyer completely decay in front of Destiny.
That day either, even though one of the bombs was allegedly right outside of her office. She has no idea. She's changing her story. But what type of an insurrection?
No one is changing the story. You guys filmed this
Kamala
from start
has
to
changed
finish.
the story.
We can watch you guys cheering for it. We can watch you cheering 1776. What was 1776?
I know you hate 1776.
Wait,
I know you hate that.
What was 1776? What was that?
That was the founding of the country.
What was it? What was the event? What would you call that?
When we overthrew royalty and created
against the government, would you call it
a constitutional republic.
Would you call that an insurrection?
No.
No. 1776, the revolution. You wouldn't call that an insurrection?
So are you pro-insurrection now? You just babble and stammer so much. I can't figure out where you're at.
Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe for more if you like this topic.
Tell me what kind of an insurrection, when an emergency notice goes out to go home, everybody goes home and calls it a day. Is that
what kind of an insurrection ends when the leader tells his followers to go home? All of them.
Perfect.
That's kind of how it works. That's how a cult works.
So there was no insurrection. Trump didn't want to overthrow the government. Thank you for admitting that. That wasn't too hard to get out of you.
We can't even follow basic logic.
No,
1776 was an insurrection. It was a revolution.
Now you're deflecting again to 1776.
I'm not deflecting.
So
I'm referring
Trump wanted
specifically.
to insurrect
it's just
the
funny
government,
that you stand outside saying.
What stinks is that Destiny really, again, is just saying nothing but the facts. Owen Shroyer appears to be so much in his own, he knows, I think, that he's a little bit conspiratorial and that he's known for that, which is why he seems to be a little bit sensitive. He can't even admit that, yes, the 1776 would be considered, yes, a violent revolution, an insurrection, everything that is agreed upon. But, he's a little bit so much in his bubble. He's a little bit, again, one of these guys just so attached to their ego. He can't even admit the basic facts, which is causing him to look even more crazy, causing him to look even more like a freaking loon.
1776 and go, well, is this really an insurrection? Well, I don't know. What were we cheering for? The Star Spangled Banner?
Was
it choir practice?
Actually, they were singing the Star Spangled Banner, something you'll never hear at a Democrat event.
Mike Pence. When Donald Trump said Mike Pence needs to do the right thing, what was he talking about there? What did he want Pence to do?
So in the history of the United States, there have been multiple times where a party rejects the results of an election, and all three times prior to 2020, it was the Democrat Party.
Really?
Let's walk through those. Let's
walk through those. Do you want to go over when it happened in 1960 in Hawaii, when the only reason why they submitted two different slates of electors, which were both authorized by the state legislatures, because there needed to be a recount. Do you want to use that one, or do you want to go back to Ulysses S. Grant, the one that happened prior to the ECA even being passed? Right? Where the whole reason why that law was passed was because it was such a clusterfuck of an election. Which one do you want to go to? Do you want to go to Gore, where Gore he gave up that election as soon as he lost to the Supreme Court, where there wasn't even a delay in the electors voting in Florida, let alone a January 6th certification? The problem is you don't know anything. You have no facts for any of this. And the strongest facts that you can attest to, you no longer can because you're scared of being sued again for defamation. So obviously, you're just going to sit here and ramble on some crazy shit. That's why you won't admit that 1776 was obviously an insurrection. That's why you were cheering it on outside and you thought you were going to be the winners of that insurrection instead of the losers, and it's why you won't admit now to obvious.
So as you can see, you have somebody who is completely uncomfortable with themselves. As we can see, just Owen Shroyer by his body language, he looks just completely out of his element and backed up against a wall by Destiny. Destiny has him on pins and needles at this point. He has him, on the ropes. It seems like Destiny's, mopping the floor with this lunatic. It's just another day in America. Great. God bless America. Comment on the vid and let me know how you feel about this. See you guys tomorrow.